Hey everyone, welcome back to My Mosaic. Today we're doing a deep dive into something I think we've all dealt with at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Oily skin.
It's a universal struggle, it feels like sometimes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Especially for teens, right? But today we're going beyond just the teenage years.
Exactly. We're looking at natural ingredients and how they can help manage that oily skin no matter how old you are.
Love that. And to get into it, we've got three awesome sources.
Oh, yeah. Lame on me.
First up, we've got Rosie Lana's blog post. She's always got great tips.
And I love her style.
Then we're going to Green People UK. They've got a whole guide on this.
Super informative, those guys.
And last but not least, we've got a skincare routine article from Pure Fiji US store.
Okay, so we're covering all the bases here. Blog, guide, and routine.
Exactly. So before we get into the solutions, let's talk about the problem itself.
Right. Gotta understand it first.
Rosie Alana's blog post actually dives into a ton of different reasons why we get oily skin.
Yeah, it's not just one thing, is it?
Not at all. She mentions genetics, which makes sense, right?
Oh, yeah, some of us are just predisposed to it.
And then there's hormones, which explains a lot about the teenage years.
Ugh, don't remind me.
But then it gets even more interesting. She talked about diet, stress levels.
Even the kind of skincare products we use can play a role.
It's like a whole recipe for an oil slick.
It kind of is. And actually, Green People UK had a statistic that I thought was really interesting.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
They said that between 5 and 8% of people have persistently oily skin throughout their lives.
Wow. So it's not just a phase for everyone?
Not at all, which is why it's so important to figure out what's causing it for you.
Right, because then you can actually target the problem.
Exactly. So, listeners, take a second to think about those different reasons.
Yeah, which ones might apply to you?
It's the first step towards finding a solution.
Absolutely. So let's say you figured out your oily skin triggers. What's next?
Time for the good stuff, the ingredients.
Yes. And Rosie Lana gives us 5 natural ingredients that she says are great for managing oily skin.
She's got good taste. I'm sure they're good ones.
Okay, so she suggests tea tree oil, witch hazel, green tea extract.
Ah, classics. All great for oily skin.
Then she adds aloe vera and retinol to the mix.
Okay, so we've got some soothing, some antibacterial, some powerful stuff in there.
Exactly. And it's cool because Green People UK actually recommended another ingredient.
Oh, what's that?
Willow bark extract.
Interesting. I haven't used that one personally, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, they said it's really gentle, but effective for balancing oily skin.
Makes sense. A lot of those natural ingredients are like that. Gentle, but powerful.
Exactly. So we've got a good list of ingredients to work with.
Now it's time to put them into action, right?
Right. And Pure Fiji comes to the rescue with a whole 9-step routine for managing oily skin.
9 steps. Wow, they're serious about this.
I know, right? But don't worry, we'll break it all down.
Yeah, no need to get overwhelmed.
So they start with a papaya-based cleanser, which I've never actually tried.
Oh, it's lovely. Papaya has natural enzymes that help break down that excess oil.
Really? So it's like a natural exfoliant, too?
Exactly. Then they move on to an alcohol-free toner, which is really important.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because alcohol can actually dry out your skin, which can trigger it to produce more oil.
Ah, so it's counterproductive.
Totally. And get this, they even say that people with oily skin should still moisturize.
Really? I thought moisturizer was like a no-no for oily skin.
That's a common myth, but it's actually the opposite.
Okay, explain this to me.
When your skin's dry, it freaks out and starts producing more oil to compensate.
So skipping moisturizer is like telling your skin to go into oil-producing overdrive.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right balance, hydrating without clogging pores.
Okay, so moisturizer is a must. Got it. What else is in this 9-step routine?
They recommend weekly exfoliation, but with a gentle scrub.
Yeah, those harsh scrubs can be brutal.
Totally. And then they get into some really cool DIY mask recipes.
Oh, I love a good DIY beauty treatment.
Me too. They got one with witch hazel and bentonite clay. That sounds amazing.
And another one with egg white and honey.
Sounds delicious, almost edible.
I know, right? But apparently they work wonders for absorbing oil and tightening pores.
Like a mini spa day at home.
Exactly. But before we go any further into those DIY recipes...
Ew, cliffhanger.
I know, right? But I want to take a moment to thank everyone for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
And if you're enjoying this content, please do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button.
We're an emerging channel, so every subscriber means the world to us.
Seriously, your support helps us grow and bring you more of these deep dives.
So if you're feeling the Mind Mosaic love, click that subscribe button.
And join our little community of curious minds.
We're all about exploring new ideas and learning together.
So stick with us, We're going to get back to those DIY masks and dive even deeper into the world of natural ingredients for oily skin.
All right, welcome back to Mind Mosaic.
We're back and ready to tackle those DIY masks.
Yes, I'm excited about this part.
Me too. So where do we even begin with these Pure Fiji recipes?
Well, they've actually got a couple of different ones.
Okay, give me the rundown.
So one of them is a clay mask. It uses witch hazel and bentonite clay.
Clay masks, those always feel so fancy.
Right, and they're super effective for oily skin. Those ingredients work together to suck up all that excess oil.
Ah, so it's like a vacuum cleaner for your pores.
Exactly. And it also helps tighten those pores so they look smaller.
Double win. What else do they have?
Okay, this one sounds really intriguing. It's an egg white honey mask.
Egg white. That's a new one for me.
I know, right? But apparently it works wonders.
How so?
Well, the egg white helps tighten pores and absorb oil, kind of like that clay mask.
Interesting. And the honey.
Honey's amazing. It's naturally antibacterial, so it helps fight breakouts.
Oh, right. I always forget that honey has antibacterial properties.
It does. Plus, it's super moisturizing, so your skin won't feel dried out.
Okay, I'm sold. I need to try this egg white honey mask.
Right. It's like a natural facelift in a bowl.
It's so easy to make.
Super easy. And Pure Fiji even gives some tips for thickening the mixture if you want. They suggest adding some ground oats or even just plain flour.
That's so smart. Using stuff you probably already have in your kitchen.
Exactly. It's all about being resourceful and making those natural ingredients work for you.
Love it. Okay, so we've got cleansing, toning, moisturizing, DIY masks.
Sounds like we're well on our way to conquering that oily skin.
We are. But Pure Fiji doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. They actually talk a lot about the connection between what we eat and our skin health.
Makes sense, right? We are what we eat, as they say.
It's true. And Green People UK actually echoes that sentiment. They talk about diet a lot, too.
What kind of foods are we talking about here?
Well, they both emphasize loading up on fruits and veggies, especially leafy greens.
Those are packed with antioxidants, right?
Exactly. They help fight off those free radicals that can damage our skin.
And don't forget about healthy fats. Omega-3s are so important for skin health.
Oh, yeah. Those are found in things like salmon, avocado, walnuts.
All the good stuff. They help keep our skin hydrated from the inside out.
And then on the flip side, there are foods we might want to limit.
Yeah, the usual suspects: sugar, processed foods, too much alcohol.
It's all about balance, right?
Exactly. And Pure Fiji makes a really interesting point about spicy foods.
Oh, yeah. What about them?
They say that spicy foods can actually worsen oily skin.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, it's something to do with how they stimulate our sweat glands, which can also increase oil production.
That's fascinating. So maybe lay off the hot sauce if you're struggling with oily skin.
It's worth experimenting with. See how your skin reacts to different foods.
Totally. It's all about paying attention to your body and figuring out what works best for you.
And speaking of paying attention to our bodies, let's talk about hydration.
Oh, yes. Water. The ultimate beauty elixir.
It really is. Drinking enough water is crucial for overall health, but especially for our skin.
Why is that?
Well, when we're dehydrated, our skin can actually get drier, and when that happens...
Our oil glands go into overdrive.
Bingo. They try to compensate for that dryness by producing more oil.
So we end up in this vicious cycle of dryness and oiliness.
Exactly. But when we're properly hydrated, our skin cells are plump and happy.
And our oil production is more balanced.
Exactly. So make sure you're sipping on that water throughout the day.
It's such a simple thing, but it makes a huge difference.
It really does. And while we're on the topic of internal factors, there's one more we can't forget about.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Bris.
The ultimate skin saboteur.
It's true. Those stress hormones can wreak havoc on our skin.
Breakouts, excess oil, you name it.
Yep, it's all connected.
So finding healthy ways to manage stress is just as important as any topical treatment.
Absolutely. Whether it's exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, whatever works for you.
It's about prioritizing self-care and giving our bodies and minds a break.
And when we do that, our skin often reflects that inner peace.
Love that.
Yeah.
So we've gone from external solutions to internal solutions. It's all connected.
It really is. And speaking of connections, in the next part, we're going to delve even deeper into that mind-body connection.
I'm excited for this. We'll be right back after a quick break. And we're back for the final part of our oily skin deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground, from ingredients to routines to DIY masks.
But now it's time to get holistic, to explore that fascinating connection between our skin and our overall well-being.
Because let's face it, our skin is often a reflection of what's going on inside.
It's like a mirror, showing us if we're stressed, if we're not eating right.
Exactly. So if we want to truly manage oily skin, we need to look at the bigger picture, those lifestyle factors that can play a huge role.
And Green People UK really emphasizes this in their guide, right?
They do. They talk a lot about the importance of diet, which we touched on earlier.
Yeah, Pure Fiji mentioned it too, but I'm ready to go deeper into the food connection.
Okay, so it's not just about avoiding greasy foods, though that can help.
Right, it's about nourishing our skin from the inside out with the right nutrients.
Exactly. And both sources highlight the importance of antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids.
So those are found in things like leafy greens, fruits, and healthy fats, right?
Exactly. Those foods help combat inflammation, which can be a major trigger for oil production.
So it's not just about what we put on our skin, it's about what we put in our bodies.
Absolutely. And speaking of things we put in our bodies, let's not forget about hydration.
Ah, yes. Water, the OG beauty elixir.
Seriously. Drinking enough water is crucial for overall health, and our skin is no exception.
Why is that? What does dehydration do to our skin?
Well, when we're dehydrated, our skin can actually become drier, which might sound counterintuitive.
But then our oil glands go to overdrive to compensate.
Exactly. It's like a vicious cycle of dryness and oiliness.
So we end up with the worst of both worlds.
Right. But when we're properly hydrated, our skin cells are plump and happy.
And our oil production is more likely to be balanced.
Exactly. So make sure you're sipping on that H2O throughout the day.
It's such a simple thing, but it makes a huge difference.
It really does. And while we're talking about internal factors, there's one more we can't ignore.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Stress.
The ultimate skin saboteur.
It's true. Those stress hormones can trigger inflammation, leading to breakouts, excess oil, and all sorts of skin woes.
So finding healthy ways to manage stress is just as important as any skincare routine.
Absolutely. Whether it's exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or simply taking a few minutes each day to unwind and do something you enjoy.
It's about prioritizing self-care and giving our bodies and minds the space to relax and recharge.
And when we do that, our skin often reflects that inner peace.
So we've come full circle, haven't we?
We have. We started with natural ingredients, explored routines and DIY masks, and now we've landed on this crucial understanding that true skin health goes beyond just topical solutions.
It's about taking a holistic approach, addressing both the internal and external factors that contribute to oily skin.
And remembering that our skin is a reflection of our overall well-being.
Well said. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to remember that even though we've been focusing on managing oily skin, there's nothing wrong with having oily skin.
Exactly. It's just about finding what works for you and feeling confident in your own skin.
Absolutely. So embrace your unique skin type, nourish it from the inside out, and remember that true radiance comes not just from clear skin, but from a heart and mind that are at peace.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we want to thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into natural ingredients for oily skin.
We hope you found it insightful and helpful.
And if you did, we would love for you to subscribe to our Mind Mosaic channel for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics.
We're an emerging channel, and your support means the world to us.
Every like, comment, and subscription helps us grow and bring you more of the content you love.
So until next time, stay curious, stay beautiful,
Yeah.
and keep those amazing questions and insights coming.
We'll see you soon.